Welcome back to a brand new video. You guys will probably tell that this is a little bit of a different style of video. We're doing a tier list video, guys. If you guys don't know, I'm away this week, so these is actually all pre-recorded stuff. So yeah, I thought I would just do some stuff that you guys have been asking me to do. This is a perfect time. You guys have always commented, make more tier list video, and I saw this one a few times. Thought I would do it. If you guys want to see other tier list videos, let me know, because I would love to do these. Maybe I'll make them like a weekly thing. Maybe less edit them and maybe make it more of a podcast type style. Let me know what you guys think. But for this episode, if you guys probably saw from the title of the screen, this is, YouTube boxing tier list. I'm not going to rate all these. I already saw a few of these. I don't know who some of these guys are. I'm going to be real. Maybe I'm just casual in the YouTube boxing scene, but, I don't think so. I don't think I am. I like to think I'm well-versed, but apparently not. I think this is a good tier list. Is like even KSI in here? I don't even see KSI. I don't see no KSI here, but oh, there's KSI. Okay, there's KSI. We're gonna start here, but before we do, I just remind you guys to hit the subscribe button, like, comment, and share. We're trying to 20K by the end of the year, and it would just help me out tremendously if you guys could help us to that goal. And yeah, without wasting time, let's just start off. I'm gonna put her back here. That just means I don't know them. We're gonna start with Swarms, right? So Swarms is a guy that fought KSI, looked terrible, but came back and actually has been taking up boxing pretty well. I mean, he has a pretty fast jab. Has some decent power, did lose against Deji and basically did nothing that fight. So I think, we don't have so much on him. Deji was a big jump in competition. That was pretty much an unfair matchup. So was the KSI fight. But I believe he fought Ryan Taylor, I believe the guy's name is. I'm sure he's on the list somewhere, but oh, there he is. He fought that guy and he won. And he also did some sort of tag team thing, I believe, recently. I don't know if he won that, but so I guess I'm not as well versed. So I'm going to go mediocre. I think he's I think in terms of, we're going with like real terms, he probably is more of a rookie, but mediocre. I think the guy has potential. I think perhaps if maybe he does it for a little bit longer, who knows, maybe his next performance he could be a bit better. It just, the volume wasn't. Actually, I'm gonna put him in rookie because that was such a rookie move for him just to not do anything in that Deji fight. So yeah, I'm gonna have to put him in rookie for that reason. Now next is iDubbbz. Retire. Seriously, dude. Don't do this. You don't need to do this. Yeah, I mean, he's lost 2 fights. He lost to Alex Wasabi. It wasn't so. I think it was pretty dominant, right? I don't know, but regardless, if you're first of all, you're fighting on events that flop. Regardless, I mean, I don't know. I guess they're for charity, so maybe I shouldn't be shitting on it. But it is what it is. I just think I don't know. It just I don't think he's meant for fighting. Like, dude, I'm gonna be for real. I'm sorry, All right, next up, Salt Poppy. Now, Salt Poppy was a guy that had a lot of hype. I wasn't believing the hype. If you guys remember, I said, hey, Anthony Taylor was going to beat him. I said that the same thing that happened was going to happen. I think he definitely has better reflexes than a lot of other guys do. I think he has a lot of talent. However, I just think he's missing a lot of fundamental issues, and I think that's what is going to stop him from the likes of KSI, from the likes of Deji. I think that's what's going to hold him back from the likes of Slim even, So, yeah, I'm going to have to put him in decent. Yeah, I'm going to put him in decent. I think he just has a lot of fundamental issues he needs to work out. But once he gets that all worked out, I think he'll do pretty well in the scene. KSI is next, guys. If we're talking YouTube boxing, you got to put him the man at the top. Listen, I've said before, look, he doesn't look the best. His style's unorthodox. He has power, and it works at the end of the day. He does get hit, and I think against Tommy Fury, it might be a big deal if he does get hit, because Tommy Fury is a legit boxer. So I think if he gets hit by some of the shots that, Tommy was even hitting Jake Paul with, and it's not even a thing of getting hurt. I mean, KSI just throws so off balance that he might get knocked down and not even hurt, similar to like how Tommy got knocked down in the Jake fight and clearly wasn't hurt. So that's definitely something that's dangerous, and I think that's going to hurt KSI, just due to the fact that he has beaten a lot of people, and he did fight Logan Paul. That was a fair matchup. He is fighting Tommy Fury. Respect to him. I'm gonna have to put him in the top, I guess, but part of me also was thinking about putting him at champs. I don't know. Yeah, I'll have to put him at the top for right now. Next up, Tyron Woodley, guys. I'm going to have to put him in contender. Listen, guys, if you guys really think you're going to put him anywhere under contender, you guys are dumb. The dude took Jake Paul to a decision the first fight. Did pretty decent in the second fight. I thought that was a pretty close fight up until the knockout, and a pretty boring fight as well. I think he beats KSI if they fight. KSI isn't exactly a boxer that's going to keep him at the end of his jab. Maybe Tyron Woodley kind of freezes up, and maybe, KSI can get a knockout that way and gain some points, maybe. But Tyron Woodley also has power, dude, and that's the last thing to go when you're old. So if he hits KSI when KSI is off balance like that, leaving his chin exposed, I think Tyron Woodley chins him. I think Jake has better defense, and I think that's why he was able to, handle Tyron Woodley, and, he was able to stick to his jab and keep that length. However, KSI likes to throw in the pocket sometimes. You know, he throws looping shots, which, you know, why are you going to do that if you have the height advantage? Just throw nice straight shots. So I think he's a contender, guys. I know he hasn't fought in a while. He last fought Jake Paul, and he lost by, you know, brutal knockout, but I think he's better than a lot of guys. I think he's better than Salt Poppy. Next up, Bryce Hall, man. Maybe I would have put him in retire. However, I'm going to put him in rookie. I think the guy sucks, don't get me wrong, but, you know, just the fact that he was able to win a bare-knuckle boxing match, and yes, I think he would have lost if the guy didn't get injured, of course, but he did manage to get a knockdown within, like, the first 10 seconds, showing he has some power. He also showed his MMA skills by taking down the dude, even though it was a bare-knuckle boxing fight, but regardless, you know, I think he also won a round against Austin McBroom, so I'm going to put him in rookie. Maybe he can get a little bit better. He did look improved from the last time out. He looked horrendous last time. Did improve. I don't think he improved as much as you would want to see in that time, but he did improve, so I'm gonna move him to rookie. Next up is Waleed Sharks. This guy, yeah, I've seen him box a couple times, and he actually impressed me. I'm gonna put him actually above Salt Poppy at C, maybe even, I'll actually put him in B tier. I actually think he really impressed me, him and Dean the Great, which I'm sure we're gonna get into later, but alright, Anderson Silva's next. You gotta put him up there. He's up there. He's beaten all these dudes below. Anderson Silva, beat Julio Cesar Chavez. You gotta put the GOAT up there, in my opinion. Straight up, like, that's it. I don't care how old he is. I understand he's 50 years old. Whatever, I don't care. He's still whooping that ass. Yeah, I think Anderson Silva definitely goes in S tier, like, no doubt about it. I believe this is L. Brooke. I believe she lost her last fight, right? She usually goes forward, and I think outside of just that pressure, she really doesn't have much technique. But that pressure is very effective, especially, you know, when you are competing against people that haven't boxed for a while. They don't know how to handle it. So it does help her in a lot, and I think that has helped her in a lot of fights. I'm going to put her in mediocre, guys. I think there's even a case, you know, where she's in between mediocre and decent. She has pressure. She's able to take shots. She was able to go 5 3-minute rounds while taking some pretty hard shots. And she was able to stand her ground even against a power puncher in her last fight. So I think she definitely deserves a lot of credit for that. All right, next up, King Kenny. He's another guy that is definitely, you know, at the top. He's supposed to be fighting Gibb, I believe, soon, because he did that whole tournament thing. Me with him, man, the guy, he's, you know, won some fights. A lot of them were robberies, if we're gonna be real. I'm gonna put him in decent, just a little below Salt Poppy. I don't know I think he probably beats Salt Poppy, to be honest, but I think if we have to talk about, you know, who is more impressive, I think you got to put Salt Poppy up there, although I do think King Kenny maybe beats him. I don't know. It's a tough call. I'm just going off of what I've seen them fight, so I think that's fair to place him there. Anthony Taylor, this is where it gets a little tough, because I don't think he's above Tyron Woodley, but I also feel like he should go above the champ. I'm gonna put him in contenders, I guess, and we'll put him in contenders simply because, you know, he is kind of the what do you call it, the gatekeeper, right? He's the gatekeeper of you know, the whole influencer, you know, scene. If you beat him, you know, you're that level, you're that guy. But if you lose to him, like Salt Poppy, you know, you kind of, you know, are at the lower end, you know what I mean? So you're not really at the upper echelon of, you know, this whole influencer boxing thing, right? So for me, you know, I think he's definitely in contender. Ryan Taylor, I would put it mediocre as well. Honestly, I put him below L. Brooks, simply because, I mean, what fights has he won? I mean, did he even win any fights? I don't know. I mean, I know he lost against Swarms, you know, but other than that, what was the guy beat? Feel me? All right, I'm going to put Sensei in champs because he was good. He did lose his last fight, but he did get robbed in his last fight. But I'm going to put him in champs just because he did never fight KSI. There was sparring footage of KSI and him, and, you know, he didn't really look so good in that. However, though, he is a true mixed martial artist. He's a teacher. Like, he actually teaches, like, kids mixed martial arts, so he definitely has skills and probably could be in the S tier. He just hasn't really proved it, so I'm going to put him in A. All right, next up, Ben Askren. I'm going to put him above iDubbbz. Fuck it, because, honestly, I think that's a 50-50 matchup. I don't think iDubbbz is very good at boxing. Honestly, he probably could beat Ben Askren, but truth be told, I don't know. I think it's a bit even. Yeah, Ben Askren, live your life. You did it, dude. You went to the UFC. You were undefeated for a long time, had a phenomenal career and won in Bellator, and definitely one of the better wrestlers. I mean, just the fact that he really had no striking in his career and managed to achieve so much with just wrestling really speaks to his wrestling skills. The guy runs a wrestling gym. He has a beautiful family, beautiful wife, beautiful house, beautiful everything. Made money off the Jake Paul fight. Just retire, dude. You fought for fucking 20 years. You know, just stop, dude. Like, have fun. This is your time to fucking relax, not to fight these younger dudes. Retire. I mean, I don't know. I think him and Swarms is even. I don't know about Bryce Hall, judging off the last Bryce Hall fight. All right, next up is Slim, guys. I'm actually gonna put Slim. I'm gonna put him in champs, guys. I'm feeling a little generous today. Slim is definitely, I think, someone that's underrated, has power, is extremely awkward and tall, and has a weird style. He kind of reminds me of Tyson Fury, not in the way of any, skill-wise. Of course, I'm not trying to compare that, but I mean in the way that he's a tall, awkward, long guy that is kind of hard to get on the inside of, and he is, pretty decent at boxing. He has decent boxing skills, filled in on short notice against, I believe it was FaZe Temper, knocked him out there. The dude is game. I know a lot of people think he's a duck for not fighting Saul Poppy. I think he beat Saul Poppy. He could just, be ducking him, but I think that's stupid. I think Slim could beat him. I don't know why he would be afraid of him, and he could be afraid of him. I'm not trying to say he's not, but I don't really know about the situation, but honestly, I don't know why. I feel like he would beat him. I feel like he would just keep him at the jab. I feel like Saul Poppy would stay on the outside, and I feel like as long as Slim just jabs his head off, I feel like he wins. All right, next up, Fousey. Another guy who should retire, dude. Fousey is going through it right now, so I don't mean to, add on to it. If you guys haven't been seeing his live streams, don't. But, if you guys want to look up clips, go fucking help yourself. But he's definitely going through it right now, and yeah, it really comes from that Deji loss. And man, it's just, if you can't handle a loss in boxing, you shouldn't be fighting, dude. Like, Fousey went in there trying to do the same thing to Deji, and then now, I mean, look, I don't want to, I know the guy's going through it, but I just don't get the whole situation. I mean, of course, mental health is serious, but I just don't get it, man. It's hard because, obviously mental health is a big deal and definitely something that should be taken accounted for, but at the same time, it doesn't give him an excuse to be a dick to like a whole bunch of people, which I see him doing online, so I don't really fuck with Fousey. But yeah, he should retire from boxing. Not to make it this about him. And for Dr. Mike, no, I'm sorry. I'm actually gonna go decent because I forgot he only lost to Chris Avila, and Chris Avila just beat Jeremy Stevens, which is a UFC fighter, former UFC fighter who did well against Jose Aldo in boxing. So credit to him. I don't think the loss actually is that bad now. But then it wasn't so good. I feel like that wasn't a really good reflection. But yeah, Dr. Mike is definitely, he hasn't boxed in a while. I don't know if he's ever going to box again. But, I wouldn't even mind him against Logan Paul. Though I am happy with the Dylan Dennis matchup. I think it's fun to see their trash talk. But yeah, and Dr. Mike's a nice guy. His boxing is really good. He's been boxing for a long time. I know, like, training it. He's only been fighting for a little bit. So yeah, I like Dr. Mike. I think he's a decent guy. Vinny Hacker, man, it's hard. You got to put him at mediocre. He beat Deji. This was an obese Deji that wasn't training, of course, but, nonetheless, I thought he put on a pretty good performance. He did what he had to do, and not only that, really showed guts in that fight. Could have gave up. He was supposed to lose the fight. He withstood, Deji's push, Deji's, onslaught, his punches, his power punches, punching him as hard as he can, and stayed in there. He has the money. He doesn't need to do this, but stayed in there and beat him anyway, and then never boxed again. Respectable. The dude, honestly, could go down as the GOAT, because that was crazy, It's just funny that he beat Deji, like, you know what I mean? And now, where the fuck is Vinny Hacker? I have no idea. Gib, yeah, I'm going to put him in S tier. I know this might be controversial. I think he beats KSI. Just saying it. I think he beats KSI. I think if he could pressure, it really matters who's going forward. I think if KSI goes actually, no, I actually don't think he beats KSI. I'm sorry. I'm going to switch that around. Here's how I see the fight playing out. I see the fight playing out like this. Okay, so KSI pushes him to the center. Gibbs' defense is going backwards because he's a pressure fighter. And usually that's fine because he's the one pressuring and, he has the open ring. However, if you crowd Gibb, he's going to get cracked. And I think KSI is actually going to pressure him, push him backwards, and crack him inside 3 rounds. And I think he's going to knock him out. And especially we've seen Gibb is chinny. Changed my mind. I'm going to go with KSI. I think KSI is going to beat him. But I think also Anderson is better than Gibb. And I don't know, is Anderson better than KSI? I don't know. I'm going to try to abstain from that. I don't know who would win. I'm going to go with Anderson, actually. I think I'm going to pick Anderson. I know a lot of you guys might flame me, but I'm going to go with Anderson. But yeah, Gibb is definitely up there. Gibb's improved a lot. And I want to see Gibb versus Slim. All right, Jay Swingler, I believe his name is, and he's retired from boxing. He boxed, I believe, last November. Looked pretty decent, had a first-round knockout, so there wasn't really much to gauge. He did have a fight with Gibb that was pretty much a war. Guys, I'm going to go with decent on this one. I'm going to put him behind El Brook. Yeah, I'm going to put him behind El Brook. I think, he just hasn't proven so much. And for Greg Hardy, who's next, he beat Hasim Rahman Jr., and knocked him out. That was on a week's notice, I believe. And, obviously there was a massive weight discrepancy in that fight. But still, credit to him. And he also got knocked out recently in boxing. So you can't really put so much on that win because, like I said, there was a big weight discrepancy and a short notice change up. So instead, I'm going to be putting him in terms of like YouTube. I'm going to put him I'm going to put him in mediocre. All right, next up, Hasim Rahman Jr., who I was just talking about. A guy that I do think is good, a guy that I think could be Hasim Rahman Jr. in a rematch if he put on more weight and if he came in prepared. I like Hasim Rahman Jr. He's a cool guy. So I'm going to put him, I'm going to put him in, honest. I know you guys are going to fucking flame me, but I'm going to put him in contenders. I think he could make it to champs. I think he can make it S tier. However, and I think he beats Logan Paul. If he's really the backup for Logan Paul is dead. And if he fills in, Logan Paul's dead. Like, he's beating Logan Paul, no doubt about it. He's going to beat Logan Paul. I know he just got knocked out a couple days ago. I'm going to put him in B tier simply because he hasn't really proven himself in the whole influencer scene, because he hasn't beaten any influencers, and you could really only go off his boxing resume and things like that. And, you know, he has taken on harder matchups than these guys. So I'm going to put him in B tier. I also think he beats KSI. Next up, FaZe Temper, right? Lost to KSI last January. I picked him to beat KSI, so that's pretty interesting. I thought, you know, he had a you know, obviously mixed martial arts in his background. Thought he would have enough decent striking to beat him, and then, you know, keep, you know, being in long range. I mean, and also KSI wasn't preparing for a guy that be as tall as FaZe Temper was. He was preparing for Dylan Dennis. So I thought those are all a recipe for an upset. So that obviously didn't happen, and he did lose to Slim. I'm gonna put him in decent. I'm going to put him below King Kenny, because King Kenny and Saul probably have just proven more. I think, but I think FaZe Temper could be good. FaZe Temper has just taken on really hard matchups. Like, if you look at Slim, KSI, they're both at the top right there. And he's beaten other guys, so. All right, FaZe Jarvis, a guy that has impressed me. He did lose to Gib. I wasn't surprised about that. Gib is the type of guy that you have to have a lot of boxing experience to beat, because he is a guy that has a lot of pressure and can intimidate you with his power, with his pressure, with his cardio. So he's definitely a guy that you need experience to beat, like how Jake Paul beat him. He had tons of sparring going into that one, right, and was training for such a long time. So I think that's how you have to beat Gib. And if you don't have that, you're at a big disadvantage. So for him, man, I'm going to put him in contenders, but I'm going to put him at the bottom, simply because he did do, you know, he did spar Floyd Mayweather, is getting trained by him. Did lose to Gib, but he's going to be fighting, I think, Whindersson Nunez soon. And, yeah, he's going to destroy Whindersson. And I don't remember who he beat before that. Oh, he beat that guy, Tom Zanetti. That's who he beat, right? And it looked pretty good there. So, yeah, next up I'm going to go with Deji. Deji, I'm going to put him in... I'm going to rant a little bit about Deji. I'm going to put him below FaZe Jarvis. Honestly, I'm actually going to put him in, no, that's just being a hater. I'm going to put him in the end of contender, simply because the guy, who has he fucking fought? Who has he beat? All right, he has fought some good guys. He fought Jake Paul, fucking lost. Fought Vinny Hacker, who the fuck is he, lost, right? Fought Alex Wasabi, lost, right? Then he beats fucking FuzzyTube, the last guy on the fucking tier list, right? Beats him, surprise, surprise. Beat Rookie. Fucking swarmed, fucking beat him. No surprise there. Obviously lost to Floyd Mayweather, but, you know, no surprise there, of course. So I think the next logical step is Greg Hardy from Take On. Or something. No, I'm kidding. Maybe I think Alex Wasabi rematch is definitely something I want to see, which we're going to see. I guess we're going to, you know, rate him next. That's definitely what I think I want to see from him. Or Bryce Hall. That's another interesting matchup. And I think it's a fair matchup, even though I know he isn't Rookie, and I know I have technically Swarms above him. I just think that, you know, it is a little bit of a different matchup, and we don't know a lot about Bryce Hall, and that's why he's so low. He could have improved a lot more, but let's see. I think though Deji probably beats him, so that's why I'm more curious about an Alex Wasabi rematch, because he did beat him, and we're gonna be grading him right now. I'm gonna put Alex Wasabi. I'm gonna put him above Deji and below Jarvis, simply because he has improved himself. He beat iDubbbz, which who cares? Beat Deji, pretty impressive win when a lot of people thought Deji was going to win in that fight, and I thought Deji was going to win. I thought Alex Wasabi couldn't take a shot for anything because he got knocked down by FuzzyTube, but didn't happen. And yeah, and Alex Wasabi, I think, just gets discredited because I know he pulled out of that KSI fight, but it seemed to be a legit reason why he pulled out. He did get a concussion, so it was fair. And, you know, he's a guy that understands range. He has a good jab, good straight shots, and understands pretty much the fundamentals of boxing. And next up, we're going to go with Logan Paul. I'm going to be putting Logan above Anthony Taylor. And I already hear the comments. What am I doing? Guys, I'm going to ask you this. All right, I'm going to ask you guys this, and then if you guys can answer the question with a name, I will apologize, and I'll put him at whatever tier you guys want. But who has Logan beat? I'm trying to think. He has beaten nobody, and the guy's a loser in general. So the guy already lost to Dylan Dennis, even if he knocks out Dylan Dennis by, you know, trying to sue him or whatever the hell's going on with that, trying to get him to shut down his, you know, trying to shut down his Twitter, whatever the fuck. Like, the dude is, like, I can go on. You know, I would say there was times where I liked Logan Paul. Man, the dude he's just a fucking brand walking. And he hasn't beaten anybody. He's not aggressive in boxing. I don't think boxing is a sport for him. Even if you look at the Floyd fight, it didn't even look like he was trying to win. Looked like he was trying to hold Floyd. Like, dude, credit to Deji. At least Deji Deji tried so hard he got knocked out. You know what I mean? He tried for some shots. He tried to set up some things and tried his best. And even though he did get knocked out, I at least admire that more than I admire this guy for just, you know, holding on and clinching and then fucking putting it in his intro and, you know, making it the greatest moment of his life that he lost a decision to Floyd. So that's just my opinion. Whatever. I don't really like Logan regardless. But definitely, I think Hasim beats him, and I think Tyron Woodley beats him. And I know there's a massive size difference between him and Tyron. And I know that there's a massive size difference between him and Tyron, but still, I think Tyron will manage to get it done because he's just, but both guys are a bit standoffish. I could also see Logan winning the fight. I think that's more of a toss-up, but I think Hasim beats him for sure. Nate Robinson, please, similar to Ben Askren, retire, dude. You got the money from the Jake Paul fight. Have fun with your basketball and your family, and, you know, why don't you go coach some basketball, something like that. You know, I'm sure you got money from the NBA, all that, so, you know, go do that at your time. I don't even know where my mouse is. Okay, here. JMX, he has an MMA background, wanted to do MMA against another influencer. There was talks of him and Logan doing some sort of MMA thing, and I hear he's the backup, maybe another potential backup for that Logan Paul matchup. So that'll be interesting. He lost his last fight. I'm gonna put him below L. I'll put him below L Brook. Next up, Luis Pineda lost to KSI, but outside of that, looked pretty good in a lot of different matchups. Beat B Dave, I believe the guy's name is. And yeah, with that being said, I'm gonna put him in GOAT. No, I'm kidding. I'm gonna put him, in all seriousness, I'm gonna put him above JMX, just above JMX. So similar place, mediocre. The dude probably would get beaten by most guys, but, you know, it is what it is. All right, Dean the Great. I'm gonna put him right next to Waleed Sharks. Obviously, they have a rivalry. They have a pretty close fight last time, and yeah, so they're gonna rematch. I know probably soon. I don't know. The rematch I feel like has been talked about throughout a long time, but they're apparently supposed to rematch at some point, and we'll find out who's the better fighter then. But both guys look really good in that tag team match they did together. I watched that one. All right, next up, Austin McBroom. Austin McBroom is a guy that has looked good in the past. He did look good against Bryce Hall, didn't look so good against Gibb, but like I said, Gibb is a guy that I think you need a lot of experience to beat, to learn how to beat him, to learn how to handle those situations that he brings. But I'm gonna put him below Anthony Taylor, just because, yeah, he hasn't really proven so much, and Anthony Taylor is, I think, a good matchup. I think that is actually a really interesting matchup, him in Austin. But I'm gonna put him just slightly above him, maybe even. But yeah, right now I'm gonna pick. I think I'm gonna pick Anthony Taylor if they fight. I think he'll put on the pressure and all that. It'll be kind of similar to the Gibb fight. All right, Joe Weller obviously kind of started this whole thing. Yeah, obviously he started this whole thing. I'm gonna put him. And rookie is at the end, simply because when's the last time this guy boxed? He lost to KSI, lost to Jake Paul. Didn't look good in either of those, you know, fights. Technically fights. I mean, you know, I know the KSI was an actual fight, but you know, the whole Jake Paul spar thing. But you know what I mean. I'll put him there, and I don't think he has any intention of coming back to prove it. I don't think he cares. So, all right, next up, Vinny Hacker. You suck. Period. I don't know why people thought you were good. I said from the get-go Gibb was going to beat him. Like, this is what I mean is, like, bro, some people in this, like, YouTube scene just don't know anything about fighting, and I hate it. Okay, he's going on the top, clearly. Tommy Fury. I think he's going to beat KSI. Thinks he beats anybody on here. Yeah, I think he's probably the best one literally on here. I don't think there's any, I mean, except for maybe Greg Hardy. Maybe Greg Hardy could beat him, seeing that there'd probably be a 200-pound advantage for Greg Hardy, or a 100-pound advantage, 150-pound, whatever it would be. But I still think even Tommy probably would beat him, to be honest. So I think he has enough experience. And yeah, so I'm going to go with him. And then Jake, you got to put him at number 2. I mean, that's just how it goes, and that's going to conclude it. But yeah, Jake, you got to put him at number 2. I think if KSI manages to beat Fury, this whole thing kind of goes on. I guess this is kind of like the top 5, in my opinion, of influencer boxing. It's Tommy Fury, Jake Paul, Anderson Silva, KSI, and Gibbs. And if KSI manages to take out Tommy Fury, I think he's the #1 guy. And that'll be interesting, but obviously this could change October 14th. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Let me know what you guys thought about this whole tier list. Thank you guys for watching. I thought I'd do a little bit of a different style, more of a podcast type, and just so I could let go talk. If you guys watched the whole thing, comment in the comment section below. Comment tier maker, guys, if you guys watched the whole thing. I genuinely want to know if you guys saw it. Thank you guys for watching. You guys are the best fan base in MMA, and I'll see you guys in the next one.